Just in time to leave Boston. The day greeted us with a warm, sunny sheen over the city. But as I was packing up to leave, I discovered we have a mystery. This is my pile of dirty clothes, which I keep in the corner of the room. And as I started packing up my dirty clothes, how did this get in there? It's not mine. It's not mine. I'm currently on a bus to Salem, Massachusetts. Now I gotta tell you, the Wonderland bus stop, not the best I've ever visited. I'm not sure if it's the worst, but it certainly isn't the best. 2 out of 10 would not visit again. Salem, on the other hand, I'm looking forward to a great deal. And if you'd like a view of the trip, I present you with this. A skateboarding magician. Okay, so you can probably guess where we are by now. We're in Salem, and we're about to take a nighttime tour. And the guy at the front there wearing the cool green cape is going to give us some of Salem's secrets. But he's willing to share them with us for a terrible price. I think it was $30 for 2 tickets. As long as I'm here, I might as well show you the front window of Why Nots, which is a Harry Potter style wand shop you can go into. They have a little bird cage with 2 living birds in there, and inside you can see this is my favorite place that we visited so far, because it seems to me that it was made out of just pure love. Somebody loved a concept and they built a whole store out of it and they run it year round. But for right now, we're doing spooky tours over here with other spooky people. We're underway on the Salem Night Tour. Ghost Tours. My GoPro has died. I don't have the ability to record this with it, so I'm going to record it with this. The guy had some cool points about this particular church here and how it is actually built over existing graves. So when you walk through the church, you'll hear the floorboards squeak because they're not laid down into an actual foundation. This church is built upon the dead.
We had a question earlier about how far the graveyard extended in Philip English's day. I don't know the exact limits. In 1692, this was the location of a tavern owned by Bridget Bishop. Does that name ring a bell with anybody here? All right, I'm seeing some nods. Bridget Bishop is definitely one of the more famous of the 20 people that were executed for witchcraft here in 1692. She was an easy suspect from the beginning. Because she owned a tavern, that meant that she smoked and she drank and she talked freely to men. She also dressed a little bit more provocatively than what was considered acceptable for women in that time. On top of that, she had a history of getting into public altercations with her husband, which, by the way, was husband number 3. And the icing on the cake was that she had had a witchcraft accusation made against her decades before the pandemonium ensued here in Salem. So poor Bridget, you know, she was kind of stuck out at an odd angle from everybody in society. She was an easy scapegoat, and she was actually the first to be hanged in June of 1692. There are a few theories about this, and the one that carries a lot of clout, the one that a lot of people really do get behind a lot, is that they were actually hallucinating. So the winter of 1692 was a very wet and cold and nasty winter, and the grain that they had harvested that year, they believed that it had gotten wet and had gotten moldy. So there's a kind of fungus called ergot. And this fungus produces a compound from which the drug LSD is actually synthesized. And they believe that the ergot fungus got into their grain that they ate when they ate the bread. These girls may have experienced hallucinations that led them to believe that they were being enchanted.
Those historians who also have a medical background will hotly dispute that claim because ergot poisoning is frequently associated with necrosis of the extremities, which was not exhibited by the full body searches conducted by numerous investigators on this course. Because the girls were exhibiting signs of witchcraft, they were all checked for what's known as a witch's teat, a small black mole through which a familiar would feed on their blood, and as they were strip searched, somebody would have noticed that their toes and fingers were rotting off.
I think a lot of what happened here also had to do with it was a very repressive environment for women to be in at the time. You know, these were very sheltered young girls, very superstitious young girls that were kind of under their parents' watch a lot of the time. So it was a very pressurized kind of hothouse environment for them to grow up in, and I think, you know, that the conditions were just right for hysteria of this level to break out.
Deeper and deeper into the night we go, where it'll all end. Nobody knows.
This house kind of has a brutal history behind it. The home dates back to the 1700s. It was owned by a number of wealthy and kind of well-known people in Salem over the centuries, but it's most well-known for a murder that happened here in 1830. They Americanized the storyline a little bit with elements from the Captain White case, and they also reproduced this house on original editions of the board game. So we call this house very affectionately the Clue House. It's also Salem's most haunted mansion.
Alright, so I'm here at the Gulu Gulu Cafe in Salem, Massachusetts. This is Jeff, he's my bartender. If you come down here and you ask for a suggestion of a beverage, of an alcoholic persuasion, just about any type, he will be able to give you a good recommendation. You will get to try that beverage before you purchase it in full. Jeff's a pretty good guy. I just want to say thanks for the good night.
No problem, man. You have a great time. There we go.
There we go. All right, I got an extra hand.
Enjoy your night.
Also, if you want to come down and experience some wacky performance art, come on over here. Gulu Gulu Cafe is cool because they are dog friendly, so you can bring your pup with you. And on a really wacky night, if you come along here, you will find a very unusual form of performance art. I genuinely, when I first walked in the door, thought they had a mannequin on stage. She's very good at standing perfectly still.
It's a drink and draw. It's a
But-
live model.
Oh, she's a live model, which is why she is standing perfectly still. Well, that explains a lot. I thought this was some sort of bizarre sideshow attraction, but either way, it's very, very cool. I had a great time, and I would recommend that you come down here and just give them all of your money. So the bathrooms here are pretty awesome too, if you take a look at the sign on the door.